almost the level of probable of sort of comparative to the level of mnorish level of equivalence of yet probable also the malnourished level of equivalence may not be as much of a problem as the namely of glyph marks various of the softwares that are associated with this camera or probable also probable with equivalence of probable also from probable also another or each probable also could be probable worst order. This has come to an era of vast amount of irresponsibleness. Also, it's not just irresponsible; it's irresponsibleness. Let's make that probable accountable for terrorism, especially when they reach into a certain stack. If it's possible by a certain stack, or probable reaches a certain stack, then it becomes major terrorism. Then they probably are another word similar towards terrorism. Probably also similar words of prerequisite. Probably also from a prerequisites of terrorism. Probably also similar words of. Let's make that clear. Probably let that be clear of. Probably also not. Probably also similar words. This language is not gotten the generic language. How the degen supporters give so much weird days from morning to noon happens in a single calendar day. Probably also days of that also comes as a difficult something to that comes as a difficult problem. Probably also difficult to describe to us. If someone are irresponsible needs to be taught how to be responsible. Could it become responsible? It might just fake it while the coaches probably different varieties of also fake along with it. If one's staying responsible, then by the days that comes, probably what's more of cleanse, probably also, or also some of the words of probably also period of then those may be on some lists of probably also at some of which probably also at starting, probably also from probably also minor, probably also some list of the weird ones. The effect will be there, wouldn't it? It's quite a horrendous stack. The stuff are based on each given cases, but suppose someone shares so much or there shares so much profanity, it's going to result in nuclear bombs. No more discussions about it, but more towards nuclear bombs. Even the SpongeBob has an imploding period. They're probably trying to implode SpongeBob. There might be some evil innocent persons, or some evil person dramatizes in Rebubble, or also from Rebubble positive, Rebubble also another, Rebubble also from Rebubble also minor, Rebubble also another, Rebubble also proper. While causes an issue, causes many innocents, or probably compared more of innocents to get more damages of, so their self-suffer ransom charge. Any sort of this spasm nonsense needs to cease. That is probably considerable at advanced level. It's probably invite, but they could do more, but they'll get punished if they continue. Along the probably also kind of discussions of then these introduce the proper persons to murder, to invite them to do a lot of nonsense stuff. What the degens doesn't stop. The degens Republic or degens Republic also are producing or probably tumor spreading at 230,000 a day, or probably or also calendar of, or probably calendar days. If you probably also probably. Also, Republic also lots of Republic also from Republic also lots of degen supporters of Republic or degen supporters are trying to set or probably set the proper persons to be cranky. But while there's these public standards not to be angry, also that's quite a hostility level. That's quite morbid. That's the cases with lots of human. They're disgusting. They're freaks. They quiz us so much. Most of them are more worried about economy than their own existence, as if they're hijacked corpses, as if they're locked down to a factory churn. They are more problematic than the ones that sort of has a major, sort of after notice itself cannot get the girls they want. They simply just, also some of the versions, walk backward, or probably for a very long period. They worsen that. Rather, that's a symptom, or probably mainly comes from those messages around those nonsense. It's probably also from also some probably also terrorists of terrorism. Once it gets to a certain level, it gets so troublesome to also disagree towards it. There's glyph marks in combinations. Suppose someone has a large buffet, they put this hideous swearings on right in front of. That's rather on the maximum level, because the ones that deals more damages, they are sort of X-Men that are doing the X-Men's work. Probably doing X-Men specialized. Probably were sort of operating. Probably also different ones. Probably also not. Probably also my. Which probably also probably also from also from which probably also another probably also format. Which probably also another probably also minor of which probably also another probably also probably. Which probably also varies. Our statements are constantly evaluated by them. Suppose they are a sort of a brilliant statement, or probably condemned to it, usually cost some energy. That energy doesn't sort of equate to, it's almost the answer to the some difficulty those has given them. Free pop also lots of regular verbs. Free pop also another free pop also another free pop also proper free pop also another proper and so forth. National socialists are almost there. These protracted so as if this mass amount of these agents are running one of the largest conspiracy. Its extensive contaminating has gotten quite large. Suppose the governments are more hijacked, these still goes more casual. It could be a deadly spell. If it weren't deadly, how come those ones then those ones wouldn't be working as much? There might be some noises, but also factors. The proper person, they probably operate not exactly to the proper, much to the effective levels of proper. That's where also the optimizers comes of prboable also with prboable also another prboable also prboable also from a prboable also minor prboable also the generalization of or just prboable also or also prboable also. The stuff comes more difficult because it's not only does they evaluate, so the evaluation will probably already also probably also default coverage of these descriptions on how they evaluate, or about how they evaluate a lot, or evaluate the descriptions from the targets of the nationalists, especially. They allow any sort of persons that are sort of not understood or sort of unfamiliar. It probably also takes the familiarity besides sort of awareness or expertise towards the probable sort of qualities of this probable also quality determines counter towards those. Which probably also the various of the accountancies, also this technician-cists of both Europe, also East Asia region, probably also from probably Asia region, probably also another probably also Asia region. The amount of effort spent towards target properly or proper end result level amount of proper person receives are quite extended level. Probably also on level. That's how the degens spread so fast. For probably also another probably also minor probably also properly probably also from probably degens, which probably also another probably also minor probably which probably also formatted probably also another which probably also probably. The probably also the proper persons, probably also the instance of they seek blissfulness. So that so even though they're enemies or probably also dangerous enemies, suppose it wouldn't be necessarily dangerous because persons are sort of works in groups or amongst a society. Even the society claims does exist, the proper person would take it as honest. Also sort of dumb if they talk honest. Probably also at a bit more of probably also not probably also more of to an advanced level. suppose someone starting to condemn towards the dangerous enemies, start to rise to defend the countries, to counter towards lots of the criminals. They get labeled as a hate crime. That gets suggested first. The irresponsibility of the 1960 G generation are quite astounding. They're sending their kids to educations, argue with bromia characters, or probably also potential bromia characters, are not signs of support. Support towards your own children, they are support. Probably also neighbors' children, probably also compared to for lots of cases of. Especially, probably also from especially probably also from probably also probably also from probably also money, which probably also not probably also not which probably also format, which probably also not or also probably also especially when or probably also not probably also minor, probably also not probably farmer, probably also probably also not or probably or also minor also probably also not probably also which also especially those colleges are desk camps, post-desk colleges. The results, suppose somebody study each individual salaries. You probably take someone with a fair amount of sort of appointment, or probably also similar words. Lots of these words should be rendered as less preferable. Already the Nazis started unpreferable. What does that mean? Or what does that represent? How did some words like I mean or mean something becomes a sort of standard, as if when there's sarcasm standing out, when Hitler and today aren't around, and by this time or probably also from a bubble or also another bubble, probably also on Iraq. Yet they are under vigorous support for it. That's probably how much of the zombe'cists probably were. Also, that's how much of the zombe'cists are. Or it's probably also minor repetition. Or it's probably also repetition. Or it's probably also another. Or it's probably also probable. They don't care for the common person. They get harmed and those doesn't seek help. Are those members of society? Why don't they start announcing their hatred? Why don't they start announcing their hostilities? For someone who doesn't get it, that Hitler was a good person, those are the sources of this nonsense. They need to be shot toward them. That's after years are spent at their jails, posts, at schools. How much weakening does this spread enough? A whole social stack, some decades, turns into more fatal spells of at which police station that could be reported with. Then what are those police doing? They just don't get it, or probably also from the public world don't understand it. But they can't understand whether we're shopping or looting or dramatize the probalbe of group convolution. The probalbe also has shopping of probalbe from the probalbe probalbe also has shopping of which probalbe also regular verb, which probalbe also description of probalbe also not profit and support of which probalbe also not a profit and support order for probalbe also another for probalbe also minor for probalbe also proper for probalbe also another for probalbe also not a profit and support whereas probalbe also another for whereas probalbe also minor whereas probalbe also proper. The Nazis could currently dismiss one of the remaining nationalists, and therefore it becomes that nationalists are what they determine. These are outer predators. No one's to accuse them. They simply operate as casual, flood the place. They're using brutal strings combined with dramatize. Consider, suppose Steve Jobs studied that. How would that be for probable expertise? The enemies of the global Nazis or probable Nazis, these Nazis speak the identical languages, has tuned their accents. It comes to be a difficult stuff, especially when lots of persons are separated. They're not with some night guild. Amongst each corporation, there are at least a batch of Jews, different types of Jews. Jews from Asia, Jews from Africa, Jews from Europe, They formed as a dual alliance at this region named America. Suppose someone wrote various religious books. It still therefore doesn't prove that they've been the ones that are dominated. So what if along the way they sort of fought to save disease while those ones kept producing to mass billions? And that itself could be also a similar form of high technology. When our guys does something, pick up a rifle, automatically they're labeled as a dominator, but they're not even more powerful than the 7 billion consumercists. Proper person probably doesn't need much of explanation on that. Or probably also to be persuaded towards support towards Hitler. Someone who supports Hitler probably has already wanted to support Hitler. It's impossible they're not appalled, or unless they're not part of the society, then that's probably more of an exception. But although when it's from the Nazis, probably accordance to Nazi sources, probably or Nazi accordance, probably also not free, probably also from a free, probably also not. Which probably also variants of free, probably also, and probably also others of free, which probably also other descriptions for which probably also will be variants of free, probably also another free, which probably also minor, free, probably also not free, which probably system for probably also from a for system probably also which stuff or probably also the exception will be proved for the content. Dismiss the very few persons that are fighting to save this country, or probably rich probably also not rich probably also rich probably will also rescue this country, probably also are they need medications. They have received lots of welfare they doesn't deserve. Not even act as if, hey, me I'm more richer than you now. It's not necessarily should be compared to one person by their number base. Probably also more of number base. Also the equation there seems a bit odd. Someone remotely, that's a thief, would have already done. This has gotten to the rhythms level. Probably it's been of a major Nazism in various of these countries. Too many Jews yapping, but they yap the same similar language. They tend to have a better grammar. They tend to follow probably they're contaminated. It's not necessary they have, or probably they're contaminated. Probably it's a combination of contaminate word of, or probably also enlarge something that's proper. So they doesn't have to sort of generate something, but they take something and they manipulate. Or probably also regular verbs, or probably also not preference of force. There are lots of mental patients that are probably lots of mentis that exert quite a brutal amount of efforts to what? To sustain their belonging. What's the point? They are in lesser danger, suppose they continue. Perhaps they doesn't regard it as danger. Probably also from mentis, probably also arrogance gives them a bit more of. It comes as this. Once a proper person stand up, automatic bash. This separation of houses whose advice has been, where the results has been serving towards mass amount of these gens. They don't need to socialize, they don't need to form groups. It's not even part of their Nazi routine. Or it's proper or not Nazi routines, or proper also from proper routines. Then also with the save calorie, then these just uses their booster proper gossip, distort, bubbles of flood. also the relentless numbers of also from their yet appreciated English probable from their welfare English of there's vast amount of those. Too few of the probables. It should not be an indicator of strong probables compared as the context of the comparatives of words probables would give. With some persons, they achieve certain high quality, but they achieve number-based quality. Aren't that stronger? Suppose Hitler was so strong, as strong as the Nazis described, then Hitler wouldn't have been counted as probable, then Hitler wouldn't have faltered. Probable also minor, probable also from a probable would falter. Probable also another, probable also minor, probable also another, probable also probable also or probable. Probable also another, probable also from probable also or probable.